I'm Brother Serge and Kyle Voss of the Cadian 8th, fresh from the eye of terror's spit. And if you're hearing my vox now, you're either lucky or doomed. Grab your lasgun, check your seals, and don't you dare lower that helmet visor till I've finished. What I'm about to tell you happened to me. Last rotation on Vostro Prime, before the stars bled purple and everything went to hell. We just dug in at Bastion 17, concrete ribs jutting from permafrost, like some emperor-forgotten spine. Snow screamed sideways, flaying paint off our Chimera's tracks. Captain Hale was barking orders. Form fire line, double sentries. Those greenskins aren't getting past the ridge. But greenskins? That was before the dead started walking. First sign was the quiet. Too damn quiet. Not even wind through the razor wire. Then, footsteps. Not boots wet, dragging meat slaps. Private Jen spotted him first, shapes lurching out of the blizzard, Vostrion greatcoats flapping like flags made of skin. Their faces? Thrown, their faces. Half chewed off, eyes milky but burning. One had his own intestines trailing behind him, like a banner, steaming in the cold. Contact, I yelled, bolter already barking. 3-round bursts, center mass, standard doctrine. First one took 5 shots to drop, skull exploding like overripe fruit. But the others kept coming, no tactics, no fear, just hunger. Sergeant Mallory tried a plasma blast, vaporized 3 in one sweep, but the splash. One of those chunks crawled toward us on fingertips, jaw working silently. That's when Hale made his mistake. Burn the bodies, he ordered, but the flamers were low on promethium. Private Lee hesitated half a second, long enough for a zombified officer to grab his throat. Heard the cartilage crunch, like stepping on frost. Lee's scream cut short as the thing bit down, arterial spray painting the snow crimson calligraphy. We fell back to the bunker. 6 of us left. I sealed the door, hydraulics hissing shut, just as a dozen hands started pounding. Thump, 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 like they knew we were inside. Brother Tacitus tried the vox. This is Bastion 17. We need AVAC. Unknown hostiles. Static swallowed his words. Even the astropaths went quiet. Warp interference, or something worse. Night fell. No moon, just the green glow of my auspex painting shadows on the walls. We could hear him feeding outside. Wet ripping sounds, bones cracking. Private Voss, you won't believe this, started humming the Emperor's hymn to keep from screaming. Mad, maybe, but it worked till his turn came. See, the rot wasn't just out there. Brother Mallory started coughing, around 0 dark Erdy, black veins spiderwebbing from his neck. It's nothing, he lied, voice like gravel. We all knew. The chaplain's codex says purge the unclean, but what are you supposed to do when your battle brother begs you not to? Tacitus did it. 1 bolt pistol shot, right between the eyes. We buried him in the supply closet. Space was tight, and the dead were persistent. By dawn, I was the only one left. Found Tacitus slumped against the wall, turning. His fingers twitched toward his sidearm. I took his knife instead, saved the ammo. Stuck him quick, through the ear like the training manuals say for Xenos. His last words, tell my wives. I tried. Tried what? Living? Fighting? Not becoming one of them. Here's the part nobody writes in the tactical appendices. Zombies don't die right. Headshots work, but only if you're precise. Brainstem, not just brain. Fire helps, but they keep coming till the bones blacken, and they smell you. Not sweat, fear. Emperor knows how, but they smell fear. Found that out when I tried hiding in the ventilation shaft. Crawled through 20 meters of frozen pipes, breath fogging my visor. Heard him below, hundreds now, Vostrions, Cadians, even some ultramarines from the orbital drop gone wrong. All shambling together, a tide of rot. One spotted me, some poor bastard, with his face peeled back to the skull, grinning like it won. Reached up, fingers scraping metal inches from my boot. I froze, literally. Pipes were 40 below. Thought my lungs would crystallize. Eventually I made it to the armory. Grabbed every grenade, 2 melta-guns, and, joke's on me, no power packs left. But it found something better. An experimental virus bomb from the Admex containment research. Label said, property of the Inquisition, do not open. Well, desperate times. Rigged it with a timer, set for 5 minutes, just enough to sprint to the motor pool. That's when I saw her. Captain Hale's daughter. Little Mira, maybe 12 standard, hiding under a chimera. Covered in blood, but not bitten. They got Daddy, she whispered. Said he'd come back stronger. Her eyes, she'd seen too much. I almost left her. Almost. But the Emperor hates cowards worse than heretics. Carried her piggyback while the bunker shook, virus bomb going off behind us like the planet's own heart attack. Felt the heat wave hit, saw shadows through the smoke as everything burned. Zombies don't run, but they burn real pretty. We made it to the ridge, Chimera coughing to life on its last fuel cell. Behind us, Vostria burned. Not just the base, whole damn continent. The undead didn't stop at our walls. They marched on hive cities, on manufacturums. Last thing I heard on the emergency band, him. Private Voss, you won't believe this, started humming the Emperor's hymn. Low at first, like he was embarrassed. But then Tacitus joined in, voice cracking. Me? I gripped my bolter tighter, 'cause hymns do reload magazines. Around hour 3, the pounding stopped. We thought we'd won. Emperor, we were stupid. Floor vents rattled, something slithering inside. Black bile dripped through the grate, hissing where it hit ceramite. One drop landed on Tacitus's gauntlet, his skin blistered instant, suit alarm shrieking. Get it off! Get it off! He clawed at the corrosion, fingernails coming away in strings. That's when the vent exploded inward. Out came Mallory, or what'd been him, neck chewed to gristle, but his eyes still had that Cadian fire. Except now, they wanted our throats. Tacitus fired first. Boom, boom, boom. Headshot should have ended it, but the body kept coming, arms windmilling. I caught its wrist, felt the fever heat even through gloves. Rotting muscles sliding like grease. Pushed it back long enough for Voss to shove a crack grenade down its chest cavity. We dove behind crates, flash white light, then the smell, gangrene and promethium. Chunks of Mallory painted the walls, but we were down to 4. Voss had shrapnel in his calf, bleeding black. By dawn, bunker stank worse than a latrine in Hive Undercity. Voss was shivering, skin going gray around the edges, plague already in his blood. I knew it. He knew it. Don't leave me, he croaked. I'll watch the door. Emperor, forgive me, I promised. Then locked him in the armory. Heard him hammering 15 minutes later. Tried everything. Short burst through the wall. Frag, even the flamer's last gasp. He kept coming, but finally put a bolt through his visor myself. Watched his body twitch. Then stand. Throne, no. He turned toward me, blood dripping from the hole like syrup. That's when I ran, out into the snow, past the frozen corpses of the 8th. Their lasguns were still warm. Someone had been firing. Found Hale's helmet, visor cracked, but inside, empty. No, not empty. Scribbled on the inner lens. They speak to us. I didn't stop. Ran west toward the old manufacturum, snow up to my knees. Behind me, the bunker collapsed inward, like something huge yawned open. Engine noise cutting through the wind. Thank the throne, a Valkyrie, descending like an angel. Ramps dropped, Imperial fists in yellow armor, bolters leveled. Stand down, Cadian. Hands. I dropped my weapon, hands up. One Astarte sergeant by the scars on his pauldron grabbed my collar. What in the warp happened here? I started laughing. Words wouldn't come. Just pointed back. The ruins, the snow. They say the warp twists everything. Daemons, plague, madness. But this wasn't chaos. This was older, hungrier. The fists burned the whole ridge. Hellfire bombs from orbit. Washed Vostroy prime sky, light up like a funeral pyre. Medic stripped my armor, found bite marks on my neck. Don't worry, lad, one said. You're clean. We purged the infection. But when they sedated me, I saw Voss again in the medbay mirror. My reflection grinned with his teeth. Last thing I remember, him whispering, "We're coming for the rest of the Imperium, one soldier at a time." And now you're hearing this. So check your mirrors, trooper. Check your squad, because the dead don't march with bolters. They march with you. Wake up. That's the first rule, because the nightmare doesn't end when your eyes open. They pumped me full of antivirals, told me I was quarantined for observation. Yeah, observation. In a sterile white box on board the Indomitable Fury, a black ship's hospital frigate orbiting Macragge. Ultramarines everywhere, blue armor so clean it hurt. But the nurses, their pupils were too wide, too black, like they'd seen the same thing I had. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, the dream started. Voss crawling out of my chest, fingers first, peeling skin like wet paper. I'd wake up screaming, restraints biting wrists. The Medicaid come running, inject something cold that tasted like copper. Night 3, I heard scratching, not dreams, this time real. From inside the vent above my bed, scratch, 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 like nails on bone. I yelled for guards. One burst in, bolt gun raised, but froze, his reflection in my porthole glass, his face melting, skin sliding off like candle wax. He turned, slow, and smiled with teeth too sharp. Emperor's teeth. I ripped free, grabbed the IV stand, swung like a club, cracked his skull open, wide enough to see brain matter, pulsing gray. He dropped, but the body kept twitching, legs kicking like he'd stubbed a toe. That's when alarms hit, red strobes, klaxons howling. Corridor filled with running boots, except half the Marines were wrong. Jaws unhinging, tongues lolling. One ultramarine chapter serf had his own sword driven through the gut, but he was still walking, dragging entrails like a bridal train. I dove under the bed, crawled for the door, found the medikit's keycard clipped to his boot, still warm. Swiped it, door hissed open. Medbay corridor was carnage, bodies stacked like cordwood, some half-eaten, some just gone. No blood trails, like they dissolved, but the air, thick with rot, tasted like spoiled milk. Heard engines, a Thunderhawk prepping in the hangar. If I got there, maybe I'd live. Ran, boots slapping hydroponic tiles, past cryopods labeled Plague Marines, containment protocol, Omega. One cracked open, frost steaming. Inside, a world eater, axe in hand, eyes rolling white. He blinked, alive, hungry. I slammed the emergency bulkhead behind me, sealed it with 6 tons of adamantium. Thunderhawk ramp was down. Pilot waving frantically. Get in, Cadian. We're bugging out. Jumped aboard. Engines roared. We lifted off, hull shaking. Through the viewport, saw the Indomitable Fury cracking apart, sternum to spine, like something huge punched through from inside. Then the stars twisted. Not warp jumped. That was wrong. Purple-black, like bruised flesh. Pilot screamed. We're not jumping. We're being pulled. I looked down. Planet below wasn't Crag, wasn't any world, just a sphere of writhing bodies, billions of them, arms reaching up, mouths opening, all saying my name. Kale, Kale, Kale. We hit atmosphere. No, not atmosphere. Something thicker, like blood. Ship started melting, metal dripping through the floor, fusing boots to plates. Pilot's face slid off, revealing skull grinning. Last thing I felt, hands on my shoulders, cold, wet, familiar. Voss whispered in my ear, "Welcome home, brother." I didn't die, see. I arrived. Zombieland isn't a place. It's what happens when the Emperor's light goes out inside you, when your faith rots faster than your flesh. Now every night, I stand watch on some godforsaken rock. Salamanders keep me on payroll because I'm lucky. But when the stars wink purple, I feel it crawling under my nails, hear him chewing the hull, and I know if I ever lower this bolter, if I ever sleep too deep, I'll be the one marching back to tell the next poor bastard what comes after the dead start singing hymns. So keep your bayonet sharp, keep your prayers louder, and whatever you do, don't let your reflection blink first. Last posting was Cadia itself. Rebuilt, they said. Marble colonnades and golden aquillas everywhere, like the eye never happened. Bullshit. I could smell the rot beneath the polish. Salamanders gave me a fresh squad, 12 green lads, fresh from armored school. Names I won't repeat, because I don't want to remember. Sergeant Drask put me in charge. Keep 'em breathing, Voss. Yeah. We drew trench duty outside Kasser Craft. Deep frost, but warm bodies steaming in the dark. First week, routine. Lost fire drills, ration beans that tasted like boot polish. Then the dreams bled into waking. I'd close my eyes and see Macragg's sky again. That purple bruise spreading. Open 'em, and the auroras over Cadia shifted color. Not green, lavender, like bruised meat. Private Lyra noticed too, whispered during watch. "Sarge, you see it?" I grunted, didn't want to say yes. Night 17, the power dipped. Just for a second, but long enough for the trench lamps to flicker and show. Footprints in the snow between us and no man's land. Bare feet, human, towing the razor wire. Night 4, patrol got hit. Not orcs, not M again. These zombies wore Cadian uniform. Same greatcoats, same flash badges, same serial numbers. One had Drask's dog tags dangling from its teeth, like a necklace. We opened up, lasers carving steam off flesh, but they didn't flinch. Kept walking, boots half melted to bone. Bolter kicked in my shoulder, brass casings pinging off ice. We burned through half our ammo in 60 seconds. Then Lyra took a hit, not Laz, not Bolt, something wetter. Black spines, like nettles shot from the zombie's palm, straight into her neck. She gasped, clutched the wound, spines pulsed. I saw him burrow deeper, like roots. Kid went down twitching, eyes rolling back. We torched her, Emperor, we torched her while she begged. That's when the sky cracked. Not thunder, real crack, like glass. Purple light spilled out, and down came the first wave. Not shambling anymore, sprinting, faces stretched wrong, jaws hanging by cartilage. They scaled the trench in seconds, claws punching through ferrocrete. Drask took one head off, point blank, but the body kept climbing him like a ladder. I shot its legs out, watched it drag itself by fingernails, teeth chattering. Grabbed a flamer from the squad's corpse, hosed the lot of them. Promethium turned snow to slush, steam rising like graveyard fog. Back at Kasser Craft, gates wouldn't open, Vox dead. Inside, alarms silent. We scaled the wall anyway, hooks biting ceramite. Courtyard was empty, no guards, just footprints, leading inward to the shrine. The Emperor's statue stood tall, golden, except the face was smiling. Too wide, and its eyes, milky. Private Tov whispered, "Sarge, that's not gold, skin." I looked closer. Yeah, gold leaf peeled away, revealing rot underneath. Statue's hand twitched, fingers curling. Throne, then the square filled. Every soldier on Cadia, hundreds, maybe thousands, marching in perfect lockstep, all dead, skin hanging, bones exposed, but formation crisp. They stopped 10 meters away, saluted. Then the front rank opened mouths and sang. Low, droning, not high Gothic, something older, like lullabies for the unborn. Drask opened fire. Idiot. The song didn't break. Bullets passed through him like fog. Only thing that worked, cold steel, bayonets, axes. We hacked our way through, every swing spraying black bile. Made it to the armory, grabbed demo charges, primed the magazine towers, ran for the catacombs, bomb shelter under the basilica. Doors sealed behind us. 40 survivors, enough posts to level half the Kasser. Sat there listening to the song above, getting louder. Tov's nose started bleeding, not red, black. He laughed, wiped it on his sleeve. "Don't worry, lads, just a cold." By dawn, he was humming along. We put him down. By dusk, 5 more. By next night, the door started bulging inward, pushed by the song. We set the timers for 5 minutes, ran deeper into the tunnels, collapsed behind us. But you know what the worst part was? When the bombs went off, I felt the ground shake, and I smiled. Like I knew we'd done something beautiful. Like the Imperium finally understood. Destruction is mercy. We're still running, see? Me, Drask's skull on my belt, and one flamer left. Every world we hit, same story. Guardsmen turn, Space Marines turn. Even Sisters Repentia. Once I saw a canonist bite through her own power armor to get at us. Only thing that slows it? Faith. Not prayers. The kind you shout. The kind you live. Like when I found Sister Mira, last living battle sister on Armageddon. She was knee-deep in zombie sisters, chainsword roaring, hymns blasting from her Vox grill. Took one look at me and yelled, "Cadian, hold the line." We fought back to back, her rose petals floating off every swing, mixing with gore. When the last one fell, she turned. Eyes still gold. Said, "They told me you'd come." Then handed me a rosarius, still warm. It pulsed in my palm, like a heartbeat. We stole a shuttle, flew through warp storms no navigator touch. She slept beside me, head on my shoulder. Didn't snore, just hummed that damn song. Woke up to find her carving her own cheek with a combat knife. I stopped her, had to. But the rosarius, it melted into my skin, burned like acid. Now every time I touch my chest, I feel it ticking, like a bomb, or a timer. So here we are, far edge of Segmentum Tempestus. Jungle world called Nethra. No Vox, no astropath, just rain that smells like blood. Every night, the dead march out of the trees. Every day, Mira sharpens her sword on their bones. We kill them, burn them, salt the ashes, and when the purple stars come out, we kiss like it's our last. Maybe tomorrow the song wins. But tonight I'm alive. And if you're listening, trooper, run. Run like the warp's chasing you, because it is. And when your feet give out, remember what Sister Mira told me right before she put the rosarius in my hand. The dead don't want your flesh. They want your... Sarge, he said, it'll wash off, like paint. Didn't. By morning, Tov was humming along, voice too deep, too wet. We shot him in the knee to shut him up, begged us not to, so we did, and dragged him to the airlock. Drast punched the cycle, watched him tumble into the purple dawn, screaming till the void took his air. Then we started the countdown. 30 minutes till boom, but I couldn't do it. Not like this, not blowing up my homeworld again. So I slipped out alone, left the others sealed in, timers ticking. Corridors were quiet now, too quiet. Bodies everywhere, but posed, like mannequins. One ultramarine knelt in prayer, spine bent backwards, face pressed to floor. Another had jammed his power sword into his own mouth, still clutched the hilt. I stepped over him, reached the basilica, vaulted doors ajar. Inside, the song was deafening. Every candle flame burned violet, altar cloth soaked black. And there, on the throne, not golden, stone carved to look like it, sat the Emperor, or whatever wore his skin. Face bloated, eyes stitched shut with silver wire, lips moving, not speaking, chewing. The air tasted like pennies. I raised my bolter, but the thing smiled, knew me, knew my name, knew I let my squad die. Then it opened its mouth. Inside, no teeth, just a staircase, down, 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 into purple nothing. And from that nothing, hands, mine, Voss's, Lyra's, all reaching. I fired, one shot, took the jaw clean off. Black bile gushed, painted frescoes of saints. Body toppled, song stopped. Silence rang louder than guns. That's when I heard the real footsteps. Behind me, Drask, alive, unharmed, uniform pristine, eyes lavender. He smiled, said, "You came home." Raised his bolt pistol. I didn't dodge, couldn't. Felt every round enter me, center mass, textbook. Fell beside the corpse, Emperor's, or mine. Who cares? Last thing I saw, Drask kneeling, pressing 2 fingers to my forehead, like absolution. But instead of requiescat, he whispered, "Transmit." Then the purple took me. And now you're listening, from whatever's left of your Vox bead, wherever you are, wherever they've planted me. So when you feel the itch in your throat, the twitch in your finger, don't wait for the song. Pull the trigger, on yourself, on your brothers, on everything. Because the only way to survive zombie land is to become the monster before they do. Now go, before your reflection starts humming. You think that's the end? Nah. I woke up, not gasping for air, no lungs left. Just awareness, floating in violet. Time didn't move, or maybe it did, and I was too slow to notice. First memory, taste, copper and frost. Second, touch, fingers wriggling through soil, not dirt, flesh, human, still warm. I clawed upward, nails scraping cheekbones, eye sockets, broke surface in a trench, snow caked to my beard, except the beard was gone, face too. Skin peeled back like wet parchment. Didn't hurt. Nothing hurt. I sat up. Around me, more of us. Thousands. All rising. Necks cracking like popcorn. Some still in armor. Some stripped to bone. No moans. No groans. Just clicks. Like tongues tasting air. We stood. Formed ranks. Marched east. Towards the eye. Not the old eye. That had collapsed. This was new. A wound in reality. Rimmed in lavender fire. Demons peeked out. Curious. Then recoiled. Even they knew better. Days blurred, no sleep, no hunger, but the song played on loop inside my skull. Lullabies for the damned. We'd hit patrols, orcs first. They laughed, Zog and stiffs, till we reached them, bit, tore. One knob had his head ripped off, used it like a club. Green blood steamed purple when it mixed with ours. We didn't stop, not till they stopped swinging. Then Imperium, guardsmen mostly, Astrum Illiterum, screaming for the Emperor, while we ate their tongues. Sisters of battle fought hardest. Power armor cracked under our grips. One Celestian jammed her infernal pistol down my throat, felt the heat bloom like sunrise. Stepped through it, pulled her heart out, still beating, stuffed it back in her chest backwards. She kept walking, with us after. No resistance, just clicked in time. Found my old squad. Drask waved. Lyra's spines had grown into wings, black and veined. Tov? Tov was the song, literally. Mouth sewn shut, but voice pouring out anyway. We marched on Terra, not the palace, the Webway gate. Custodes met us there, 100, gold so bright it burned retinas, but we were legion. Gilliman himself descended, clad in the armor of fate, raised the Emperor's sword, cut through 100 of us like grass, till he reached me, stopped, looked down, said my name, Kale, voice like thunder and mercy. For a second, purple dimmed. I felt regret, almost dropped, but the song surged, louder than chainswords. I lunged, grabbed his ankle, one bite, that's all it'd take. He didn't swing, didn't flinch, just looked, sad, then spoke. You are never lost, you are chosen. Brought the sword down, clean. My head rolled, watched it land at Gilliman's boots, eyes still open, purple sky reflected in them, and from that skull mouth, the song finally stopped. See, that's the trick. Survival? Lies. We're not the zombies, we're the infection, and the only way it ends is if someone like you hears this, right now, in your bunker, with your squad, and you realize, I'm not warning you, I'm calling you. So stand up, start clicking, or put the bolter in your mouth. Either way, the song wins. Throne protect us. He never did. Long silence. Then a different voice, not mine, older, tired. You think that's Kale Voss talking? That was the echo, the recording. I'm the one who found the bead, in the rubble of the Golden Throne Room. Gilliman been missing 3 days. No corpse, no blood. Just footprints, leading to the webway gate. Bare feet. Mine. See, I was custodian tribune Valerian, one of the 10. Guarded the Emperor's left flank for 2 centuries. Watched Magnus burn his soul out. Watched Russ weep. Watched Gilliman kneel and beg forgiveness. Then I watched the purple. Start small, a ripple in the air, like heat haze above armor. Then bigger, a hole, and from that hole, us. Custodes, falling upwards, arms flailing, gold armor turning black. We didn't fight, didn't scream, just walked out, in formation, filed through the eternity gate, past the bodies of sisters who'd put bolter to chin too late, past the ashes of the Adeptus Custodes who tried to burn themselves alive, past the Emperor's corpse. Except he wasn't a corpse anymore. Skin gold again, not paint, real, veins glowing lavender. He smiled at me, said, Valerian, come home. I raised my guardian spear, tried to. Fingers wouldn't close. Spear clattered. Then he touched my helm. Metal melted, poured down my neck like candle wax. I felt it seep in, through ears, eyes, mouth, into brain. And for a moment, I saw everything. Every soldier who'd ever died screaming my name. Every world we'd glassed in the Emperor's name. Every prayer answered with fire. Then I understood. The zombies aren't chaos, or plague, or warp. We're justice, slow justice, coming to collect. I walked, with my brothers, through the webway, not to conquer, to infect, to sing. We reached Cadia first, found Kale's bead, still warm, played it back, let it transmit across every Vox channel in segmentum obscure. Watch the ripples now. See how many still move, how many still obey orders. Hear that? That's me, in your ear, in Gilliman's dreams, in the Emperor's, whatever's left. So keep saying next, keep listening, because next is where we meet. And when you finally look up from this bead,